Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
Right, we're ready.
I'm ready.
Right, here we go. Hold on tight, you suicide riders. The louder you scream, the faster we go. Welcome to episode 87 of the Chippy Tea podcast.
Chippy Tea podcast, this one, Tony. Not sure. Just in case you forget. Gallivanting.
Chippy Tea
Fraternising with enemy.
podcast. With me, Tony Palmer at Palm Print, and
Annie D, Flippy Sweet Print Co. Hey up.
And it's your chance to join us as we have a quick video catch-up about what we've been doing in the previous couple of weeks. It's just an irrelevant. It's just a nice, relaxed chat about screen print. No guarantees given or implied. It could be about anything. We are in the last week of Formula One, so it might be that. And basically what we've been up to this week. So we will kick it off in the old traditional style after 87 episodes, which is more than 2 and a bit years, I think, with all the bits that we've missed. I'll ask you what you've been doing, Danny. What you been up to, lad?
I should have prepared for this, shouldn't I? Why haven't I wrote notes? It's non-stop over here now.
Have you been busy? Yeah.
Very, very busy. Very busy. It's that strange time of year where I'm absolutely, chock-a-block with work. But there's no money coming in. Money stopped.
Have you already had it? Is that what it is?
It's done, yeah. Money's in. Jobs are settled. Christmas is done and dusted. Between now and Christmas, my jobs are booked, and that's it. On the odd chance that, stuff comes in, it's sort of booking in for New Year. And, it's a strange time of year for me. It's a bit love-hate because it's nice to be busy. And it's nice to, I've got a couple of weeks worth of work fully lined up, ready to go. But also, I can't help but look at my bank account and go, it's just drip feeding.
No else coming in now until
it's
Christmas.
Like
that's
tap.
it.
Yeah, leaking tap until January when hopefully it turns back on.
But then there's another week. Then after when you start to get organised and suppliers start delivering again.
Yeah, there's that as well. Yeah, so it's a straight. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has this feeling. But
Everybody
I
else
always find
has
Christmas quite bittersweet.
Everybody has it, and it's we only think about it now. So right now we're thinking, shit, I need to get some sort of way to flatten this valley that I'm in.
Yeah.
And really we should have been thinking it in June, when the sun was shining and everybody was happy and the work was flying off. That's when we should have been thinking, maybe I should put a special offer on in November that if you order in December, you get 10% off or something,
Yeah.
But usually we're too busy.
Yeah, you do. I mean, luckily, I guess this is a testament to the auto and, the way things have changed. I actually have had a little bit of time. Even though I'm busy, I am making improvements and little things like that. I've actually, I've got a little campaign running now to try and get some January working with just a little bit of an incentive, not a massive amount, but just a little bit of an incentive. If people are thinking of ordering anytime soon, if they get in that first couple of weeks of January, there's a little bit of discount there. It just sort of makes me think I'm coming back to work, and I'm happy about that.
You think that's the auto? You think the auto has had a direct influence on that?
It has, because I think even though I'm chock-a-block, jobs are going out that much quicker, and at the end of the day, there's that little bit of extra room in my head to be thinking about things like that. I think I've been missing a long time just a clear head. It's been that foggy with, this has got to go, and then I've got to move on to it next, and it's just a constant. Whereas I'm a little bit calmer now.
Are you doing more work, or are you just doing the same amount of work easier? That's a massive question. Doing
more work, but doing more work easier. So it's a bit, the answer's a bit of both. I'm getting more work in, which is,
that's the whole point of getting the auto.
It needed it. That's painful.
You got to pay for it,
Yeah. I think it's just it's a process that's happened. I mean, it's been just over a year now. It's a process that has gradually happened, almost naturally. The press came, I got my head around it, started to have that little bit of free time where the work I was getting, I could run out a lot quicker. And then when that free time come, almost subconsciously, little jobs around shop started happening, little jobs online, little ideas started coming back. And, things just started coming back to me. I felt like I was a little bit more in control and making progress for what felt like first time in a long time.
Yeah, it's so easy to be a busy fool. It really is. You're working, you're running, and you're non-stop, and you're rushing, and you're giving it absolutely 110%, but you're not actually achieving much. Even though you feel like you've worked your fingers to bone. You look and you've only done 100 shirts. You're like, yeah, but I never stopped all day.
Yeah, this is why there's an attitude, and I hate to label, but you see it really big in the States, and we do it. We're all guilty of it, but in the States, it's a big thing. It's like, what do you mean you're not successful? Work harder. It really isn't that simple. I wish it would, because I had that mentality.
It's you. It's down to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I set off with that mentality. I even told my mum and dad, and told them, I said, look, well, I quit my job, and I said, look, I'm going to go set up a business. And I said, no matter what it takes, I'll work and work and work until it's successful. Thinking it was that simple, and I knew I was going to outwork you. Yeah. I knew, and I know, and even now I've done, I'll graft non-stop, and not that simple. There's so many ingredients that goes into it, and it's just, it's a nice.
You can be a busy fool. Definitely be a busy fool.
Yeah. It can be counterproductive as well. You can send your son out bleeding twist. Then you send do lally, which I've chuffing nearly did. I'm pretty sure I did at one point.
Yeah. It becomes all consuming. Just work, and you think, well, this must be the recipe. Just put more work in. Just try harder. Stay up later. Get in earlier. You open up at 5. Don't go on till 10.
Yeah.
And you look back and you go, well, nothing changed. I didn't achieve anything.
No, not
because my pricing was wrong. If your pricing's wrong, you're never going to get anything anywhere near.
No. There's so many ingredients. It's it's just a complex thing. But I think some of it is nice this year. I set out start of the year with a bit of a manifesto. I had my mood board of just things I want out at year, and I've ticked every one of them.
You cut them out at Jackie magazine and Smash Hits magazine and put them on wall.
No, but I put them on. It's an app called
Manifest Me Now.
MIRO. It's called Miro. It's like it's great. It's like a giant whiteboard, but it's on your computer, and you can do all. You can put tables, you can put text, you can put sticky notes. And I've got this big mood board, and it says 1 year plan, 5 year plan. And on my 1 year plan, all the upgrades, all the items, and all the things I want to do, I've got a big tick next to it. And that's probably the first time that's probably happened. I've set goals and stuff and achieved some of them, but this time I have really achieved everything I needed to this year, which is just
pick one. Pick one you can tell us about.
I mean, the first one was the pallets. The first one is I thought, right, look, the only reason that's still there was because I needed net labels, tote bags, sleeves, kids' t-shirts. I couldn't do that on my auto, and that investment came. I mean, I put the order in a while ago, but they came last week, and I'm so happy with them because it's opened up my auto.
Now you don't have to go back there. Are you going to sell the manual?
I think I'll have to do, yeah. I think the space is worth...
Is it like selling a puppy?
It's like getting rid of my firstborn. I mean, some people have said, just keep it as a backup, which is a fair argument, and it might be worth its weight in gold. It might sit there collecting dust, but you never know that one time where you think, when something goes on the machine and you've got to wait a couple of weeks for parts, you've got to be printed somehow. So, in that respect, maybe that little bit of cash that I might get for it, which won't be its actual value, because you never get what it's worth, do you, when you sell these things. So maybe. But to be honest, the big thing for me next year, this is turning into New Year's episode, isn't it? The big thing for me next year is space. And maybe with a bit more space, I won't feel as desperate to get rid of it. I'd be happy with it sat there, only getting used every now and again. So we'll see.
Yeah, it takes up a lot of real estate, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does here. It does where I am.
Yeah.
That's been my biggest problem this year. Space. That's held me back. It used to be.
I'm sure it's on your mood board.
It is actually. Yeah. I have to tell you the exact wording. Hang on. Open industrial space with parking and presence for signage.
Ooh.
With a photo of like a big industrial building.
Google.
I'll tell you what.
An Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, it's a picture of Amazon. I've also got this will be 5-year plan. Chief Executive Admin Haley / life sorter / co-owner. She's in my 5-year plan.
I think we need to speak to her about what that involves.
Just falls short of wiping my ass.
Yeah. Well, on a daily, yeah. Maybe on a weekend.
I tell you what, I started losing weight. I think if I'd have put a bit more on and been getting to that point, I don't think I could reach. Hey God.
Oh dear.
Hey, what do you know of it, mate? What you doing? I've waffled on a bit here, haven't I?
Since we last did a podcast, what have I done? Okay, so I spent 2 or 3 days in Leicester and a repeat customer, which was always good to go back to a company. 4 years ago, I first went there. Just came back from Jordan, and we built it up. It's gone through a cycle. So I always describe the screen printing industry as a whole can be described in certain areas. You've got your North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and then you've got this special little place called Leicester, and it doesn't adhere to any of the rules of the other 4 or 5.
No.
It really is a law unto itself.
Yeah.
I think we're at 160 machines in Leicester, and it's a town like the size of Leeds. It's not the biggest town in the world.
No.
Lots and lots of printers printing for very often the same customer, and it's all fast fashion. There's no promo, there's no long-term fashion. It's all fast fashion, and fast fashion. Fast fashion exists because there's a need for it. So the consumer drives fast fashion. So I can't blame fast fashion as being the bad guy, because there is a requirement for it. Fast fashion is test and react.
In my head, it's Primark. Oh, this is trending. Get it in quick. Get it out.
Primark, Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing, Nasty Gal, all those that are usually either perfect, only online or in the last remaining retail stores. Topshop was one, and it's gone. It's bust because it's bricks and mortar's expensive.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, fashion used to be, in May to June, a designer would draw 4 designs with snowmen, penguins, and Santa on in June.
Yeah.
They'd give them to the buyer, and the buyer would pick 2 out of the 4 in June.
Yeah.
And you'd have to say, right, I want 100,000 of the snowmen and 50,000 of the penguin, because that's how I think it's going to go. And they would go to production. They get the plans would be drawn. They would be cut. They would be produced. The panels shipped over either over here to be printed or printed offshore, places where the labour's cheap. This whole process would take about 12 weeks. Then there would be maybe 6 weeks on the water while it gets delivered. You can't fly it in; it's too expensive. So maybe 6 weeks on a ship coming across. So it lands about November time. November time is when we start to put it into the shops, and the buyer is sat there going, please let penguins be popular. Because if not, I've got 150,000 penguins that nobody wants, and I've got 6 weeks to sell them all. Because in January, nobody's going to be buying penguin shirts. Because in January, they're all going to be buying the next season. And so it was a big gamble, and sometimes they won. And sometimes it was worse to win than to lose. If you lost, okay, you ordered 150,000. It's a slow seller, so you're left with 80,000. But those 80,000 you can sell to. We used to sell to Russia as last year's fashion.
Right.
And the Russians would snap them up for the cost of whatever the money was in. So you always got your money caught over. You made money on the ones that sold, and the ones that didn't, you sold at cost.
Yeah.
If it went off and went bang, and you sold 150,000 in 2 weeks, you've still got another 3 weeks to Christmas, and that's 3 weeks of lost sales. You can't get any more shirts because it takes 12 weeks to get them in. So you've lost money. It's almost like you're losing out on an opportunity to sell, and your competitors fill in that hole. So it was fraught with danger. The slow fashion, let's call it slow fashion, really fraught with danger. Slow response. You had to predict and you had to gamble. Well, pretty soon, because so many people got stuck, we got fast fashion. Fast fashion. Leicester was the expert because they would say, "Okay, well, here are 30 designs. We haven't produced any of them yet, so." Pick 5. And what we'll do is we'll produce 300 of each logo, each design. Now, Primark have got 399 stores in the UK. So it's not even one per store.
No.
And if you think of a size set as 6 sizes, they'll pick certain areas, right? Birmingham, put 3 size sets into there. Manchester, put 4 size sets into there. London, let's go with 5 size sets. That's the 300 gone. And then they would test, they would monitor how fast and what reaction they were getting from those sales. And if it went boom, they turned to Leicester and went, right, we want 3,000 tomorrow.
Yeah.
What can you give us? Well, we've got 6 machines, to be honest. We can get you 10,000 a day if you want. Okay, well, we'll have 3,000. Put them into the stores. How long? 4 days. Really? Print them. Put them into the stores. In 4 days' time, there's 3,000 available to sell. They go really well. So, right, we'll have another 3,000. They put those 3,000 into the store. People have gone off them. They don't want penguins anymore. They've moved on onto dolphins and turtles. Right. And so they go, right, okay, don't print any more of those. And we want dolphins and turtles. Can you get some of them? Yeah. How many do you want? 300. It's just a test. And so it's constant runs of 300, which you couldn't do when you produced offshore. It just wasn't economically viable. And the machines wouldn't be set up for that. So in Leicester, they've got a huge resource of test and react. So the big stores, the big chain stores can say, right, okay, run this, let's see how it goes. Run this, let's see how it goes. Run this. Oh, that's a goer. Let's go with that one. Run with that one. How many can you get us? How many do you want? We've got a 2-week window before people get bored. And so that's fast fashion. It's a fast reaction to the sales that are happening right now.
I think that is a sign at times, is that? Because even on my absolutely pathetic scale compared to that industry, people don't commit. People want like a couple to try, you know.
A tester. I want a tester. Test and react,
yeah. And it's very much. It's interesting to hear that even on a big scale like that, it's the exact same thing. People are always like, you know, there's no element of risk anymore. It's just, well, we're going to try a couple, and then
it's a lot of money to gamble. It's a lot of money to gamble. 150,000 pieces that don't sell.
Yeah. Well, it's a sensible way of doing it, isn't it? It just makes our life difficult, but that's not their fault, is it? They don't give a shit. Why should
the problem with such a high concentration of printers all vying for the same work is that we have this race to the bottom for the price, and there's a lot of undercutting going on, and eventually you hit that natural bottom where nobody can go any lower than that, and it's so low now that when you get the order for 3,000 pieces, you look at it and go, no, that'll block my press. That'll block my press for a day, and it won't even pay the wages. So no. And there's a lot of that going on right now in that the prices have come right down, that some of the smaller guys are like, I can't afford to do it. I can't afford to print that.
Yeah. Well, let's flip it on its head. Let's go positive, because I know we had a little quick telephone conversation. I know you've been somewhere that's doing the polar opposite, quality driven to the highest standard. There's no cost or very limited cost cutting. It's not a race to the bottom. This is a reasonable, fair price. We're going to do it to the highest standard. and they're thriving. And it's sort of the opposite of what we all think we need to be doing.
Yeah, I've seen the opposite. I've spoke to you. I had a phone call with you. I'm over here in Portugal right now, and I've been around 6 print shops. I've been around 6 print shops that are printing high-end fashion. Now, I've seen quality everywhere I go, and I've seen every range of bash them out as quick as possible to take all day to produce 3 shirts. I was humbled by what I saw over here. Really humbled. It really struck me. In fact, it struck me so much I had to call you straight away.
You did, honestly.
About the only person that would understand it.
I could hear steam coming out your ears.
We've had this discussion, about the triangle. Cheap, good, and fast. Yeah. You can only pick 2. If you want cheap and good, it won't be fast. If you want cheap and fast, it won't be good. And so I go to this place, and we've spoken about the Balenciaga T-shirt, which looks like tape. And we spoke about the Off-White one. Well, I went to the factory that produces Off-White and Balenciaga. I went to that factory and I watched it getting printed in front of me live, knowing that each one of those squeegee strokes was 900 quid retail. So if it's 900 quid retail, then I should imagine that they're getting between 5 and 10 an English quid. It's like it's like one of those sea monsters that you find swimming about. An English pound, 5 or 10 English pounds per print stroke.
British sterling.
Yeah, British sterling, and so therefore the atmosphere is relaxed. There's 100% inspection with a loop.
Yeah.
So digital loop on every garment. 100% inspection. Looking for registration, looking for edges, crisp definition. These are top Italian fashion houses. And I asked how many pieces they were doing. They said they expect to get about 200 pieces a day. And there were 4 people on press.
Wow. Do you know what, though? When you're getting paid that much, you can, if it's ever so slightly, chuck it in bin and get another.
You take away that. No, you can't. No, you take away that factory element. Because we almost think that screen printing is a factory job. Like a toothpaste assembly line, screwing lids on toothpaste. And we forget it's an art form sometimes because we're so obsessed with numbers. And to go from Leicester to Portugal was just 2 polar opposites. Part of the reason I got called into Leicester was to improve the efficiency. How do I get more out of it, but without compromising quality? If I knew that, I wouldn't be working around here. I'd be setting my own print shop up if I knew the secret to that.
The thing is, they obviously do.
They found it. They found it. They've realised that, hang on, this is... they say that they set the price and they decide whether they want to do the job or not. So if the customer comes to them and says, we've got this, we want you to produce it, and we're only going to pay you $1 for it, they go, no, we don't want it. No, well, somebody over there will do it for $1. Well, I'm okay. 5. Mine's 5.
That's the attitude. Come on, people.
Mine's $5. And they go, well, none over there will do it for $1. Off you go then. And they go over there. The quality's shit. They come back and they say, "Can you do these? Because we haven't done them. We're not happy with them."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's $5.
Yeah.
But we want the $1 price. Well, you get the $1 quality then. We want the $5 quality.
The amount of times that exact same situation's happened to me. Balenciaga are not knocking on my door. But on this little tiny little...
Just Louis Vuitton.
Just Louis Vuitton, just a bit of LV.
LV. Louis calls every now and again.
My little crock of Louis pops in for a chat and a couple of boxes of T-shirts.
Oh, a crock of Louis.
They undercut you. They say, well, I can get it this much. Oh, well, go on then. See you later. To my detriment, I play hardball all the time because I'm just...
Oh, it hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, it hurts. You're giving work away.
I can't afford to do it, but I do it out of stubbornness. But I see them come back. They knock on my door. Now, my issue is, if they do knock on my door with the tails wagging, I go, you wouldn't lie to me. Still shut, mate. Just out of spite, because that's
Just
the
out of
person
spite.
I am.
Yeah. Told you so.
You'll think I'm joking. I did it a couple of days ago. I tell you a good one. We'll get back on track with this and say, I'll tell you a good one. This happened a couple of days ago. I sat watching telly with eye early, and I got a text message from a customer. I looked at it and it said, "Oh, can you send me your separations and your Pantone breakdown for these t-shirts you printed me? I'm getting them made en masse." And I thought,
No.
you dickhead. You first of all, you've not even asked me for a price. So if you're doing it because of price, how do you know I'm not cheaper or at least competitive? I've not even asked. And then you want me to give you the work I've put into it? Go off.
So you said no.
Listening to this, so I said no. And in the prime example, he said, "Oh well, I need another 25 making."
En masse.
Well, this is the thing. This is where I thought, hang on, you're getting them made en masse, but you still want me to make you 25? What do you need them for? Why would you need 25 if you get them made en masse? And I think that was just a tag on to make me think, to soften the blow, to think, oh, the last centimetre is going to order some.
You can't do these. This is for the big boy. I'm giving it to big boys now,
That genuinely stabs me, does that. I hate that. We joke about it and say, I'm just a small crafty printer. But it genuinely hurts me, that. I don't like that. I don't want to be taken. I want to be taken seriously. And next year I'll make a very big effort to make those steps. But yeah, it does hurt that a little bit. I don't like it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So you walked into this place and you thought, did it feel like a factory? It didn't feel like a factory.
It didn't feel like a factory. It was a very relaxed atmosphere. Lots of people moving around, but nobody rushing. Everything was done very carefully, and you could see that it was all quality-based. So when you take the quantity aspect out of what we do, and you turn it all into quantity, and you know how much money you want that press to earn for that day, and if it equates to 200 pieces, then that's it. And that's what they worked it out as. That's what they've got it down as. And it showed, it showed greatly. Every press had a high-end Italian designer on it.
Oh, nice.
And these are not Victoria Beckham text on a T-shirt.
No.
High build, digital, puff, special effects. The one I saw was, if you cut a T-shirt up there and there, all the way up, and you open it up like two T's put together.
And then you sew some fabric in.
So you take the normal T-shirt, leave the hem, leave the collar, but cut from there all the way down. So then you open it up, lay it on the pallet, so there's a hole where the neck is.
Spatchcock T-shirt.
Spatchcock.
Spatchcock T-shirt.
Spatchcock T-shirt, yeah. This guy did that, and then he printed like a Dreamcatcher print all the way up to and over the collar, over this shoulder seam, this seam here, over this seam here. Danny, I couldn't see a heavy deposit of ink anywhere. I would have sworn he'd cut it separate and sewn it back together.
I mean,
it looked like cut and sew.
That place is doing everything that we swear down we can't do, or swear down we can't make money doing.
That's the definition. I say I can print anything, but whether I can make money printing it or not is a different matter. Yeah. And these guys have taken that to the next level. Their standard of ordinary, I think I did just some high build text, and it was 2 screens round 6 times.
Right. Yeah.
So, and it was triple stroke. Everything I saw was print flash cool. The machine that they were using was an oval, and the oval was 9 meters. No, it wasn't 9. 21 meters. It was 21 meters.
Bloody hell.
By 4.5.
Christ. Massive.
Now, and it's got 3 of them. Imagine the size of the place. You've got to have a big place. But the real estate's quite cheap over here. That's why it's working well.
Yeah, that's always a big stumbling block. I know.
So they're all ovals. That oval machine at 20 meters was only 12 colour, but it was print flash cool. Very, very reminiscent of Jordan, where the skill level appears high, But actually, we're never dealing with a wet ink. So it's all about how much ink we push through the screens.
Yeah. You've got the space between each edge that it cools down, but you don't have to worry about it so much.
So wet on wet. And the print size, they're printing 1.5 metres long by 1.1 metres wide.
That's the thing as well. At the minute, people are looking for oversized right now. That is a trend, I think. I mean, I'm getting it all the time, especially over like the shoulders. I want it to go from sleeve to sleeve.
So I was in a shop in Leicester, and they've got a jumbo auto oval. They're laying the shirt out without cutting it. They're not spatchcocking it; they're spraying it in the middle.
Right, yeah.
And then pulling it out and flattening it like a T, and laying it on a big pallet. And printing from top to bottom across the shoulders.
I saw that on somebody's Instagram. I'm not sure. Maybe it was.
But you can see where it goes over the seam, where it doesn't quite sit right into the seam, and then that pattern's repeated on the next one. Which is why I don't like doing it. This guy over in Portugal had solved that problem. And yes, I did ask him why, and no, he didn't tell me. Oh, I asked him how he'd done it. So how did you do that then? He just looked at me and went, no. Okay, just ended that conversation. So I'm really interested how you did that.
Just slowly brush that pot of reducer to one side.
Yeah. Special blades, special squeegees, special ink, special techniques, special screens.
Special blades.
Special blades.
And different things like V's and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see them. I bet you could probably walk into 1,000 shops in the US and the UK and Europe, and I bet you don't. I bet you see one if you're lucky.
Yeah, because it's not what we call normal stuff, but this is high end fashion. I was, I thought I knew quality. This was a step above what I knew was high quality.
Yeah.
And it's digital as well. It's digital on high build.
Oh, man, can you imagine the stuff you could make? Oh.
Mine was blown.
Can you see me there?
So I go into his. I went into his screen room. Obviously, I'm like a kid in a toy shop now. So I go into his screen room, and in the screen room, he's got a Grunig all-in-one. Now I've seen Grunig all-in-ones, but usually for graphic printers. What that means is you put a blank Virgin screen in this side, and it comes out this side with an image on it.
Oh wow!
That's coating automatically, drying automatically, imaging automatically, developing automatically, and drying it. It comes out ready to use. One guy puts a blank Virgin, nothing on its screen at one side, and it comes out. Nobody touches it in between.
How many millions does that cost?
It's telephone numbers. Always has been with Grunig. They're good, but they're expensive. All laser in the middle, you know what I mean?
Wow. That's got to...
And I'm looking at his screens. All the screens are steel. None of them are aluminium. So the steel sort of probably 3/4 of an inch box section instead of the 1.5 inch aluminium box section that we use.
Yeah, well, the good thing about steel, and I know this because it relates to push bikes, so you can typically bikes are aluminium or even carbon fibre nowadays. But the thing with aluminium was it had to be oval to have the strength, and you needed bigger tubes. Yeah. Whereas if you go back old fashioned and use steel, you could have much smaller circular tubes. And
have more strength.
And you think steel is heavier than aluminium, but actually because you're using smaller amounts, and I'm sure it'll be the exact same with screens, the weight compensation is not noticeable, but you're getting a much stronger, more rigid bike frame and screen print frame, which will hold tension better. It won't skew width over time.
What happens is that long edge. So if that long edge is 1.5 meters from top to bottom, and you stretch a piece of fabric that's pulling it in, you get a bow on one edge.
Right.
So that on the short edge, it's not enough tension to actually bend it. No. But at 1.5 meters, the screen actually goes like that.
Yeah.
So when you put steel on there, it doesn't. It does a little, but not as much as Ali.
Never heard of it. I get frames off of Army screen machine, and I use a heavier duty aluminium. He offers a heavier duty
1.6 or 2.1, I think it is.
It could be. I just know it's a heavier duty option, and I always opt for that. I wonder if he offers steel. I can't imagine he does it.
It's a European thing. The Italians love steel, the French love steel, and now I guess the The Portuguese do as well.
So when you come out of this factory, I would chop a bollock off to go walk around that factory. I'm not going to lie.
That's the Russian factory.
I'll give that one, Tony. That was good. The thing is, there'll be some people listening and they'll be like, chop them. It probably did sound Russian to them. Did you walked out that factory and you come out? Did you just have this? Wow, it can be done. Did you just get? Just talking to you, I feel so positive about screen print. We've had all the doom and gloom, and it's quiet in Leicester, and fast fashion's really struggling, and everybody's cutting prices. But fuck it, there's like so much opportunity, and it doesn't have to be cheap and cheerful and promo work. It can be done. Maybe it's not happening as effectively over here, but it is possible.
Well, I sort of went through the full cycle of emotions. I didn't feel that when I walked
the 12
out.
steps of grief.
Yeah. When I walked out, I was...
Shit, I'm not good enough.
I keep using the word humbled because I was humbled in that, I thought I knew quality. I thought I knew high end. I thought I knew what was possible and what was impossible. Now, if you'd have come to me with the shirt that was in front of me and said, is that possible, doing normal direct screen print, I'd have said, no, it's either DTG or a transfer. And then I turned and I watched it coming off the press.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I feel like a knuckle-dragging Neanderthal. Honestly, because I'm looking around at their low quality is what I would class as exceptional high. The Balenciaga tape shirt, that was on press.
Yeah.
It was getting printed in cream, and then I saw it getting printed in a burgundy colour as well. Same thing. I saw an Oasis and Represent shirt. Bear in mind, right? I do this. I go all over, and I'm so geeky with print. It's untrue. The first thing I do is like, no,
yeah,
no photographs.
No.
So I'm not going to do anything with them. Lie. I won't show anybody. Lie. But I also want them for me. I want to be able to show people, look, this is possible. I'm not going to tell everybody how you did it. I'm not going to give away your secrets. But I want to share to the world that what 90% of us at the high end say is not possible, I'm watching come off.
Yeah.
I was humbled. To start with, I was humbled. And then yes, I did get a little bit of elation at that. Yeah, there is, you know what? DTF is not the only way to get high quality. This guy's getting 105 LPI on 120, 140 meshes using water-based screen. Printing a dollar bill. So one of the what's the design that's got an X? It's like a big X like that. I think it might be Off-White. I don't know.
I'm for somebody who prints t-shirts, you think I know a bit more about fashion, but I genuinely, I haven't got a clue.
As a Yorkshireman, you're not going to pay a fortune for something you can print for £2. You might be Represent or something. Anyway, that's getting printed, and the whole shape of it is green dollar bills.
Yeah.
They could have been real dollar bills.
They're that good.
The quality was insane, and this is on an overlock cotton t-shirt. Wow. I don't understand how and so I got my phone out to zoom, because you can zoom on Magnify. And the guy was so nervous, but I'm like, no. And he's talking to me Portuguese saying no photography. I'm like, and it's not a photograph. I need to get really close now. Look, my eyes are old. I can't see anymore. And I'm zooming into these dots and they're absolutely perfect. It looks like single colour. I look and there's 12 screens. Yeah, Jesus. They were doing a Balenciaga on the sleeve. And they were printing. So this was a Balenciaga sweatshirt, white sweatshirt in a print shop. Worst thing you can possibly get because it always gets dirty. And it had already been printed on the front, and they were adding a sleeve print. So when the shirts arrived to them, they're already like 400 quid shirts. And they're adding a sleeve print. Right? And the sleeve print's like a French flag of 3 colours, the tricolour, and some text and a gold metallic crest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours. 10 screens. So I look at it and it's on white, and they're putting a white base down through a 90. Then they're flashing
just to move it out.
Just to kill those fibres and make it look perfectly clean. And there's a guy with a loop checking the registration of every print as it goes through. Everything is on triple hit. Double hit's gone. It's a triple stroke. It's a squeegee as a flood bar.
God, the skill level must be through the roof. To triple hit anything, they're not dealing with.
They're not dealing with anything wet though.
Yeah, well, that makes it a lot easier. But still, to triple it on top of a flash colour, you're asking for spread, aren't you? You know.
Yeah, and it looked perfect. It looked superb. And then we get to the gold, and I'm like, that's a really intricate crest to put metallic through.
Mm.
And the guy's like, yeah. And I watched him put 3 layers of gold down.
And then did they trap it?
I said, what are the mesh counts? Because I know gold metallic, it doesn't like high mesh counts. So they were 90s. The first one wasn't a metallic, it was like a mustard colour.
Right, yeah.
And then they laid the metallic on top for when anything blocked in the very fine corners of this crest. Then they dropped another layer on top as well. And I looked at him, I said, are they 90s? You're putting gold through a 90? Yeah. And he looked at me and went, yeah, we stop about every 50 to wash it out. So you get a filter, because it gets a filter. But it's got time to stop every 50. And he knows he's going to stop every 50. So it doesn't annoy him or bug him. He knows that how many you've done on that one? 40. Right, another 5 or 6 prints, we need to stop and wash that.
Yeah,
before it starts to block.
The numbers are looking after themselves in that game. They're getting paid such a premium, if you like, to produce these premium quality shirts. Yeah. They're not get this on, get it off so that we can get the next one on, so that we can pay your wages. It's not about that. It's just like,
it takes it away completely.
If it takes however long to get it perfect,
Do everything
I love
properly.
that. I think it's something that we can take a lot of lessons from. It's a stretch to say we're all going to be Balenciaga printers taking 6 weeks to print. You know what I mean? But take the lessons.
If we make that the standard, instead of the hairy ass builder down the road wanting yellow plastisol saying my telephone number on the back of my shirt,
there's not going to be
with no base because I won't pay for it.
Anyway, that was a bit nasty to add Plastisol. Plastisol is not the devil.
Whoa. Are we seeing a convert in the mist here? I think somebody has been listening to a salesman and gone, yeah, okay, I'll try your white Plastisol for you. So tell us, Danny, how's your journey going with water-based underbases?
Do you know?
Be truthful. We're not getting sponsored. You're all right.
But to be truthful, I'm back and forth quite a bit, and it's causing me problems because I'm somewhat experimenting and adapting, and trying to use a bit more Plastisol, which is the opposite of what most people do. But by God, it makes my life so much easier, and the quality is so much better. And this is the key.
What?
The quality is better
than what?
Than what I was previously producing. In some cases, almost 50-50.
Right, I'm going to stop you there. Right now, I need you to break that down. When you say quality, most people think of quality as either crisp definition or opacity. Which one are you going for?
Opacity has suffered in cases. Not every case. This is why I'm saying it's ongoing. I'm still adapting. I'm still learning. I'm still changing things. This is a massive shift for me. I've done V2 with Plastisol top colours for a decade. Probably, maybe not quite a decade, but it feels like it, I've done this for a long time. I've got really, really good at it. It's my thing. But it was my thing on that. It was my thing on a manual where I had V8 flash and I could feel the ink. When I put V2 in the screen, I can feel every pull. I can feel it start to gum up. Then I give it a quick spray or fresh top it up. Or if it does stick in the screen, I hit it again. I've lost that. I've got no hands-on feel. I can't touch it anymore.
No tactile feedback. No.
And it's been a year-long process. There's jobs with V2, and I hate to say it because I've got no against it. It's been my favourite ink for a long time. It's almost a guarantee that a shirt will go wrong at some point. there'll be that little bit of ink that just stays in the screen, or it sticks and it kisses, it, does that grandma's kiss. And that causes that knock-on effect. And then you're stressing and changing it and adapting it. And all those 2 shirts are in bin, so now I've got to replace them and keep the screens on press, It was almost daily. It was almost every single time. And I got sick of it in the end, and I realised, actually, what I'm missing is inline printing. No revolutions. If I had no revolutions, no problem. I think it'd be totally fine. Because it'd be print, flash, cool, colours, onto the next one. No dwell time, no printing V2 on top of hot ink or anything like that. And that way, it's personal to me. That's my problem because that's my setup. So I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody, but it's caused me problems with the setup I've got. So I've had to adapt, and I've had to play about with a little bit of Plastisol. And honestly, it's not the devil I remembered it as. Plastisol White's come a long way, and I've produced some prints that are in line with what I was producing before, and I'd very, me and you know, we can see the difference, but it's so minute. It's almost like, is that minute difference worth all this stress and delays on press and extra preparation? And you know what I mean? It's just so nothing's set in stone, but I'm playing and I'm adapting and I'm making changes.
Who did you go with?
I've gone for full Wilflex range. Got a brand new set of Wilflex. I've always had international coatings, but I thought, I was looking for something a little bit more opaque, a little bit more accurate colour mixing wise.
You're talking like 98 to 99%. There is an improvement in opacity, but it is very, very small because all 3 international coating, Wilflex and Rutland, they're all very accurate. Usually, the only reason they're wrong is operator error.
There are certain colours that didn't mix well. There are certain colours that, like, you mix it and you go, oh, sick, why did I bother? I should just do it by eye. And I often did, with certain colours, reds and blues in particular.
Deep blues, yeah.
I've not used the Rio system enough to make any statements on whether it is an improvement, but feedback from other shops that I've got in touch with who use it is very positive and very highly rated. So, fingers crossed. Maybe I just fancy a change.
You can't rule out something because somebody said it's not for you. I would say it's still worldwide is probably 80-20 on Plastisol's side. When you break it down to fashion, it's probably 80-20 on water-based side. So it depends which group you're in, and certainly music merch. Promotional music merch, promotional stuff on the big guys is 90% Plastisol with maybe a discharge underbase on black shirts.
Well, I've been playing with that as well, to be fair. I think, and you said 2 things, the accuracy and sharpness.
Yeah.
The accuracy and sharpness, maybe for first 20 shirts on the, using V2 is, wow. But then when it starts coming up and that, and then all of a sudden you start to see that what underbase wanting to creep, and that drove me up the wall. If I set up a Plastisol job, the very first shirt and the last shirt comes off identical every time.
If you get your parameters right, yeah.
Every time. I've had 0 wastage on every Plastisol job I've done. Whenever I chuck water base into the mix, there's waste. Almost 90% of the time. Not massive. I'm not ruining boxes of shirts. But the odd one where you go, oh, God, the bloody base has creeped out now. And then you know what I mean? And it's just enough for me to be disheartened with that job. Writes the old job off. And when I start printing Plastisol, I put the T-shirts in the box and go, I'm buzzing. I'm happy about that. I'm so chuffed to bits, and I've missed that feeling. I've not had it for a lot of years because I've constantly been fighting this bloody water-based combo.
Plastisol is not the enemy. Okay, there are some people who say, stop the Plastisol out. It's the enemy. It's death. It's dead. It's no good. It's killing the turtles and dolphins. And while it is a plastic product,
so debatable, isn't it? Such a
well, it's a plastic product, but now they're taking the PVCs out of it. It's getting less of a plastic product, and water-based is not as green as we paint it.
No.
High solid acrylic. It has acrylic in there. It is an emulsion of a pigment and some acrylic base.
Yeah.
There is a high level of wastage down the sink.
I think
water-based ink goes down the sink. Don't forget.
Oh yeah. I think the two things that makes it a debate is power and wastage. I think that makes it a debate, and I won't say which. We can argue with water-based printers and water-based suppliers and Plastisol. We can argue it all day long, and we'll never come to it. But at the end of the day, power and ink wastage are two big factors that keeps Plastisol in the argument. IMO. But ultimately,
well, even the shirt wastage. You said you wasted 2 shirts on a water-based job.
For me, yeah.
And you didn't waste any shirts on a Plastisol job. Well, that's a huge landfill waste thing there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for water-based shops with bigger presses who probably get barely any wastage. And, so for them, no argument. But just
it still is a destructive process, though, so you do get wastage anyway. But yeah, if we can say it's reduced by not introducing another hard-to-control variable like the water-based ink, then and if Plastisol ink didn't work, it wouldn't sell anything. We were all water-based to start with, and then we were all Plastisol. There's a reason. And, even the reason that I love the most is that it's 5 o'clock. I want to go to the pub, so I'm going to press stop at 4:59, and at 5:01 I'm sinking my first pint. Yeah. Whereas with water-based, I've got to start thinking about going to the pub at 4:30. Turn it off, run it down, take everything out, wash it all up, clean it all up, put it all back for tomorrow, and then get to the pub at 5:15. It's just 10 minutes drinking time I'm wasting there. I'm not happy about that.
I'm so glad you said that, because it is actually a thing. I mean, I will start a job knowing I won't finish it because I'm going home, but I'll start it. That's progress. That's half a job done. I only have to come in the morning, turn it on, and then press go again. What a dream. I could never do that. Everything had to be booked in blocks, and if I could only do 2 jobs because it were water-based that day, whereas I might be able to do 3 jobs or 3.5 jobs with Plastisol. So it's adding up for me personally. I've got naught against water-based. I'm not saying water-based doesn't work, but my personal situation with the equipment I've got and the limited staff, etc., it's the choice I'm going with because it's something I'm adapting to.
It's a tool, it's one of the tools in your arsenal. It's like saying, it's like a mechanic saying, you can't do that with a snap-on tool. It's got to be a Stanley tool. It's a tool, and it's my skill that makes it do the task it's designed to do.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's not going nowhere. It's still here. I've got another barrel due any day now. It's not going nowhere. I mean, I have customers who specifically want water-based, and in those cases, I'm just going to accommodate that. And there are always times where I think just chuck some water-based on, and it can be job specific. But I'm finding myself wanting to use Plastisol a lot more at minutes. But I go through phases, don't I?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ease of use. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because what print grip are we using?
To be honest, this phase is here for good. I'm not swapping. Time to get up. I what do we call it? F20. F20 is it?
Yeah, T20, F20, something like that.
Something like that.
It comes in a Calagas tin.
I'm not going back.
It comes in a Calagas bottle, doesn't it?
Yeah, with a spray paint gun. Never going back. No argument.
What you've done?
My press is spotless. It works flawless. There's a knack to it, but it doesn't take more than a couple of days to get used to.
I've got to be honest. I still can't get it. I still can't use it. But I don't use it every day though, but I can't use it. I think it's. I go back to my spray can technique, and you can't use the spray can technique with it. No. But you got to think you're laying floor.
That's exactly right. You take your time with it, but you're only doing it once every 100 shirts, if that. So it's not like I'm picking up a can and putting it down. The amount of times I do that over and over adds up to the time that I take my time to spray it and get it nice and even. It's way outweighs it. But that's me done. I've ordered a couple of cans as well, and it's not cheap stuff. But I've got them there.
What are you going to do with it when it's empty?
Well, I don't know about that bit. I've not worked that bit out yet.
You got to think about
that is an issue. That is
it
an
is.
issue.
I got to places with 5 years worth stacked up.
Yeah, that is something. I'm sure Skips will handle it.
No. Absolutely not. It's explosive.
If you want to get rid of a gas canister, don't you fill it with water to disperse all the gas, and then you can cut it?
You're going to do all that every time?
Turn it into a lamp.
A water feature outside in Crackadella.
Have about 1 million lamps all of its shop.
It's something you've got to think of. You've got to pay to take it away, basically. You can't print a normal garbage.
Well, cross is worth it. If it's an hassle getting rid of it, it's worth it for me.
Yeah.
I'm not touching aerosol adhesive or water-based. I've got my press is spotless. I mean, it's not spotless, it's a bit dusty, but it's not stuck on. I can wipe it off with my finger. So, with it.
Good.
So, we've done about an hour. I know we want to, because I've got about 1 million prints to do, I know we want to keep it to about an hour, which we've sort of done. I think it's been nice to have a little catch-up, just me and you. There will be some more guests in the pipeline. We've got a couple of topical episodes. We've got the budgets that I have to talk about. I'm guessing you've not got your top 10 yet. By that face, I'm going to guess you forgot. I'll text you.
I might have printed back in my mind.
I thought you might have done. I want to do that one. It's really relevant to what I've been doing, and I think we can do different budget caps. That'll be a good one. That. So thanks everybody for listening in. I hope you got a little bit of something out of it. How did you find Tony's Shirt Show episode? Wasn't it good?
Yes, I must admit, I was on the shirt show in between. That's my second one. I did that first one, and it were a bit of an introduction, sort of my origin story.
Yeah.
And then they asked me if I'd do another one because it got well received. So, absolutely, yeah. But we had to do it about something, and I suggested Wet on Wet, which is what I love. I've got a passion for Wet on Wet, and I've got some really good feedback from it. People are saying they've got it on in the shop now, and they made live adjustments according to what I said, and it improved the job. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
No, we're okay with that. I thought that was superb. I took a lot from that.
Midway through, exactly what you just said, midway through that episode, you mentioned, obviously we're having a bit of an angle to create that sheer
progressive,
that feel.
Yeah.
And you said something, I forgot what the phrase was, but you said sheer in the direction of which way you're printing or something. And I looked at my person and I went, hang on, I got this backwards. And I had to do a proper think about it. And luckily, I had got it right, but I did have to have a double take. So
with the off contact at the beginning of the print stroke.
Yeah.
Higher at the print stroke, yeah.
Oh God, I might have to go think about that again. Higher at the print stroke.
Higher at the start of the print stroke than at the back. So as it peels, it lifts.
Oh shit! I might have that backwards. Well, there you go. I would have been doing this 12 years. I might go double check that actually.
Last time I was with you, it was right. I think you're wrong.
I think it is right, but I'll double check just in case. But yeah, I thought that one of the most informative. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I thought that was one of the best Shirt Show episodes I've ever listened to. So
I don't listen to many.
I listen. Oh yeah, just pretend.
I listen to them all, and they're all really informative.
To be fair, I'm sure they're not listening to us, but
no.
I'm a big Shirt Show fan. I've listened to him from day one.
Well, you've been on it. You were on it first. Don't forget. It's you beat me to it by a good couple of years.
Don't go back and listen to the episode. It was terrible. Oh, so nervous and so.
I know, but some of that. To be fair, some of that is why we do this.
It was partly to blame, wasn't it?
It was a birthing ground, definitely for this is the Shirt Show's good. You enjoyed being on it. It was it would be great if there was an English version of an informative podcast, and we're still waiting for one because it's just me and you rattling on at the minute.
Well, we hope it's a good mixture of bollocks and a little bit of info sprinkled in.
Yeah,
we tried.
Good old tangent. Bingo.
I've enjoyed this catch up, Tony. I'm glad to speak to you every now and again. And
I'll be flying back to England today, so I'm on my way back to sunny England. It's Portugal is First time I've been to Portugal, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Real friendly place. One of the main reasons I love it is because I'm from Yorkshire. Everything's cheap.
Oh, it sounds good, actually, doesn't it? Sounds right up my street, actually. That.
I think I had 2 beers and a pizza, and it was £12. I'm like,
yeah.
Is that right? Did you not charge me something for that? Yeah, everything's really, I won't say cheap, economical over here.
Oh,
it fits into my Yorkshireness really well. Cost effective, yeah. And then from here, I'll be home for 2 days, and I'm off to Belgium next week. So I'll be in Belgium next week, again a repeat customer. Then I'm back over to Texas for a week.
Oh, wow.
Just before Christmas. Getting ready for Long Beach, and then back home for Christmas and try and relax a little bit.
Nice.
So
when we having Flipping Sweet, are you coming to Flipping Sweet Christmas party?
Right, no, on this note, right, I miss Christmas parties. You know, being an owner operator, being on your own. And my Christmas party is always me and my 2 kids and Michelle and their partners, and it's just me paying for a meal. No, this is not a Christmas party. This is not right. So yeah, I think we should have a Christmas party. I think we should get together. We should have a flipping sweet one, a Chippy Tea one.
We definitely should. We definitely should.
Yeah.
I've
out in bread.
Several iterations of Christmas party. So at various stages, I've had varying levels of employees. It usually involves a Witherspoon's breakfast, I'll be honest.
Witherspoon's breakfast?
Oh, aye. Go to Witherspoon's for breakfast and then get back to work and get a crack on.
All right,
That's my Christmas party.
Right,
Although I must admit, actually, me and Jade, when our Jade was here, we just go crazy at Coupland's or Domino's or whatever and just stock up on sweets and cakes and stuff. Carry on his day, but we could just stuff his faces in between.
But have a fuddle.
Have a fuddle?
A fuddle.
You
know what a fuddle? No?
I've not heard of it.
A fuddle where everybody brings something in and has like a big buffet.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Just me and Jay go to Coupland's.
To Erin.
Right, we shall look forward to speaking to you all again.
Yep.
ASAP.
Definitely.
And in between that time, all best. I'll see you. Is that it? Have I just signed us out?
Yep, I'm letting you go with it. You've signed us out. It's the new way now.
Oh, I feel sick.
So all that remains to be said is, if you like what you see, subscribe, like, and comment. Give us some interaction to boost us up the algorithm. And who knows, you might even be involved in it next time. So all that's left to say now is, I'll see thee.
I'll see you.
Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.